when you visit them. Uh, we got a few entities we can see in here. We got a couple of arenas. Arenas have different rules. You can just make an arena and say what the rules are. Say what cards you will allow in the arena. You just build up a list of cards that you will or won't allow. There's also this idea of community approval, which I didn't get around to implementing. Oh yeah, another bit of context is I thought I remembered when doing the hackathon that most of the work was in writing the UI. So I thought I'd do this the other way around and write this the way I'm used to writing. So I started a React app and then threw together a dummy server in Node, which roughly mimicked the Holochain backend. Problem with this approach was I got a bit carried away and I ended up building a larger skeleton than I had time to fill out. So not all the features are there. Anyway, so let's play a game. So I have got two players here. They've both got a deck. This one's got two decks.
What game is this?
I
Magic
made
the
it.
Gathering. Sorry.
I mean, it's pretty simple. You'll see in a sec.
Okay.
I say it's simple. I'm not going to say it's intuitive, but the rules there aren't many rules to it. But anyway, so let's play a match. So I'll go with my mellow cards. So the idea is we've got two rings here. I don't know if that's too faint to see. One ring of 3, one ring of 5. And I wanted the act of playing the game to actually produce new cards that people could evaluate, because otherwise you might not just have enough participants in the community trying to create new cards. That's what happens as you play. The perimeter of the ring becomes the input for creating a new card, which at the end of the game you'll get to obtain. You'll get to mint it. So the rules are based on these two adjacent numbers. I'm building up a score here by having a difference between these two cards of 1. Because both cards belong to me, there's no multiplier or anything, but you'll see in a second if I've got to draw a card. If I take on this card from this side, I'll get 2 points because difference is still 1, but it's doubled because it's versus an opponent. I'm just going to place the cards randomly to get to the end of the game. So let's turn. Oh. Still my turn. You see I got mana. The mana goes back up at the end of the game, at the end of the round. It's not very interesting, these cards. All right, so I get to choose a card. You can see that these are the two cards that are generated in the middle. So at this point, I'm cheating. I haven't got the validation right. I've just said the card can be produced. There's no restrictions on the minting at this point. I just didn't get around to implementing it, but still, I'll mint the card. You can see here it is. My inventory. So, did you? I wasn't sure if you. I could see your mouth moving, Guillaume, but your microphone's off. Oh, okay. So, what do I want to show you next? So we played a match, and we can do some feedback on these cards. You can see here's some existing feedback. I can just look at the match that just happens, and it will play back. And I can click on a card, say, there you go. The idea here is that if I wanted to open up a new arena, I can look at this and go, okay, well, if I start a new arena, I probably won't include that card. Let's have a look at a different arena. I mean, I think I've kind of shown you everything at this point. Yeah, any questions?
What a gorgeous app with so much functionality. Really, really well done.
Thank you.
I have questions, but as usual, I want to save them until other people have had a chance to ask.
I'd be interested in the architecture and the zones behind the design if you got there.
It's a pig. So I started off trying to divide things into zones, and then because I was running out of time, I decided, oh, screw it, I'll just put everything in one zone. So it's a mess. And it does mean that my validate function is enormous. I think the file got to like 1,000 lines, and my syntax highlighter was bugging out. But I guess some more interesting parts of the architecture might be, say, the matchmaking. So what happens when you select a deck here, you create a quick match intent. I don't know if you can see that, it came up at the bottom. So that's a record which validates that the deck that you have entered abides by the rules of the arena. And then that gets linked against a bucket, which is like the number of seconds, Unix time divided by 60. So it's like minute buckets. So it gets linked to the current minute bucket and the next one. So your quick match intent will be visible against that arena between 1 and 2 minutes. So anyone else who's also trying to enter a quick match will look at that same link, and then they do a sort of, I don't know how robust this protocol is. I threw together like a little gossiping partnering protocol in an evening. It's probably, I've not tested it with more than 2 people, so I dare say it falls down. What was it called? Coordinator. So you determine which other quick intent is closest to you using the ID. You just look at all of the different quick intent IDs in the same minute bucket as you, which haven't already expired. Find the closest one, send them a random number, in the hope that they'll also send you a random number because you're the closest. If your random number's higher, then you'll start a game. Otherwise, they'll start a game. And you'll wait a bit because they might not even message you. I mean, there's a bit more to it than that, but roughly that's what happens. And, you know, you might decline as well. So that's quick match. Yes, so you start a game. Oh, what ended up taking a lot of time was the validation logic for all of the moves of the game. I was trying to make it, you know, rather more bulletproof than necessary, probably. If you go to the move validation. Don't know where to put this preview of all the people. So yeah, here's a bit I had to disable. Here's something. There you go. I didn't get this working, but essentially you have a chain of moves. You've got a game move. Each move has an index and it references the last. And to get the game state, you acquire the whole list and you compile it down, consolidate it down into a game state. I've got like a game state object for that, which gets used not just for validation, but also for actually just previewing the game. Like the coordinator zone makes use of it as well. That's the point I'm making. What in here is interesting? I don't know. There's not a whole lot to the logic. Yeah, the thing that I would like to put a bit more time into, which I haven't quite got right yet, was and this is this thing that is probably unnecessary. I was trying to make sure that a user hasn't tried to play two moves, you know, because they changed their mind about one move that they made and then tell their opponent about the move that they prefer. I was trying to scan back over their source chain to make sure that they hadn't already made a move. That's what I was doing here. But something I wasn't getting right. I was getting the DHT into a weird state where one agent believed that a record existed, but the other one didn't. I'm not sure what happened there. I was getting some kind of overflow issue during deserialization of a record or something. But anyway, I'm rambling.
Well, we do have a question from EM.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that it's a question, it's more like a quick comment. This is, I've dreamt of building this app to do Magic the Gathering formats and also to do Pokemon Battle formats. I'm a geek in that type of strategy games, but I've always thought, oh, wouldn't it be nice that I say to everyone else, here is the format I want to play by, and let's see if other people agree to the format and go with me in that. So just a pointer that you've basically mostly implemented something that we had in the Redux days, which is a turn-based game module. So just a flag to make it visible so that, oh, maybe we just take this and make it a bit more generic and we have basically the same thing. So all the stuff about creating a game and then game move, and then in the game move, you have the game have, like it's the data structures are practically exactly the same. So if you want, we can have a chat about that and in the future, because the cool thing would be with turn-based games, that's a module that you can import, you add your own logic of the game to that module, and then everything works, right? That's the idea behind it. And then I guess the question would be, what are you, how are you thinking to implement different formats? So I think in your mind, or in this architecture, it's called arenas. This is what arenas are. Are you thinking they are public entries in the DHT that people get to like attach games to, or something more like a clone DHT for every set of rules?
So I wasn't quite sure whether or not I could divide it into separate DHTs if I wanted to be confident about the provenance of a card. And for this, you probably could, like, with the feature set that this project has, like you could probably have like a DHT for the game logic and maybe for the community. But if you wanted to take it a step further and have a community that says we will only allow cards which have been minted in our community, then I mean, I guess that might be one way you draw a line. I don't know. I guess I'd need to try around this.
You're totally right. I hadn't thought of that. You can't do it in that way. That's so cool. Sorry, that's it. Thanks so much.
Oh yeah.